Hello, welcome back to our channel, where we talk about fitness and health. This is episode 7 of The Beginner Roadmap for Muscle Gain.
You've been hitting the gym hard. You've been eating clean. But for the last few weeks, crickets. Nothing. The scale is stuck, your lifts feel heavy, and you're pretty sure you look exactly the same. You know, it's gotta be one of the most frustrating feelings in the fitness world. Well, today, we're gonna completely dismantle that frustration. We're giving you the blueprint to smash through any muscle building plateau, and we're starting right now.
So, this is the big question, right? The one that probably keeps you up at night. You're putting in all this work, you're dedicating the time, but you're getting zero in return. That feeling of being totally stuck in the mud is exactly what we are here to solve. And I've got good news for you. Your progress is not over, not by a long shot. You just need a better system to figure out what's going on. I want you to burn this idea into your brain, because this is the core of our entire explainer today. A plateau is not a dead end. It is not a sign that you've hit your genetic limit. Just think of it more like a puzzle. Your body is sending you a message. It's giving you feedback. And our job? It's to play detective, find out what's really going on, and then apply the exact right solution.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we're gonna get crystal clear on what a plateau actually is, using data. Then we'll introduce a really simple diagnostic framework to pinpoint the problem. After that, we'll dive deep into fixing your fuel, your work, and your rest, and we'll wrap it all up with a super simple action plan you can start immediately.
Okay, first things first. What is a plateau, really? It's so easy to have one bad workout and feel like you're stuck, but we have to move beyond just feelings and look at the cold, hard data.
Precision is absolutely key here. A real plateau isn't just a bad day or a tough week, it's a trend. So we're going to define it as 3 or more weeks where there's been zero measurable progress. We're talking about your training log, your scale weight, and your measurements, all while you've been staying consistent. This is so important because it helps us separate a real problem from just the normal everyday ups and downs.
All right, this next part is maybe the most important piece of the whole puzzle. Before you go and change your entire routine, you absolutely must diagnose the problem. We're going to use a simple framework to find the root cause. So it's time to put on your detective hat.
So plateaus usually fall into one of these 3 buckets. And yes, sometimes they overlap. A strength plateau is pretty straightforward. You look at your logbook and your lifts are completely stalled. A size plateau means the scale and the measuring tape just aren't budging. And then there's a performance plateau. That's when you just feel constantly run down, every workout is a total grind, and you just don't feel like you're recovering. So, take a second, which one of these sounds most like you right now?
Okay, this is diagnostic question number 1, and it requires brutal, unflinching honesty. Not, hey, do you think you're eating enough? But are you actually, accurately, and consistently tracking your food and staying in a calorie surplus? Have you increased your calories as you've gotten bigger? This, I promise you, is without a doubt the #1 culprit for most people.
Next up, let's look at your training. Are you just going in and working hard, or are you systematically, intentionally applying progressive overload? I mean, could you open your training log right now and prove with actual numbers that you are lifting more weight or doing more reps than you were a month ago? Remember, just feeling tired isn't the same as making progress.
And finally, we've got the third pillar. How is your recovery really? Are you getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every single night? Are you taking planned rest days, or are you just grinding yourself into dust? And hey, has your life stress just gone through the roof lately? You gotta remember, muscle isn't built in the gym. It's repaired and rebuilt when you rest. Ignoring this is like trying to build a house during an earthquake. It's just not gonna work.
And here's the big takeaway from our detective work. The answer to why you stalled is almost certainly hidden in your honest answer to one of those last 3 questions. It's almost never about needing some fancy, complex new program. It's usually a fundamental breakdown in your nutrition, your training progression, or your recovery.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the most common problem area, your nutrition. If you have even a tiny suspicion that you're not eating enough to grow, this section is for you.
The core issue here, the #1 mistake, is estimation. You think you're in a surplus. You feel like you're eating a lot, but are you sure? The fix is incredibly simple, but it requires discipline. For 1 full week, weigh and track everything. I mean everything. The oil you cook with, the sauce on your chicken, every single drink. All of it. The data you get from that 1 week will almost always show you exactly where the problem is.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about what happens in the gym. So let's say your nutrition is totally dialed in, but your lifts are still stuck. Well, then we know it's a training issue.
The most common training mistake is confusing pure effort with an actual plan. Working hard is awesome. We need that, but it is not a strategy for long-term growth. The fix is to pick one specific method of progressive overload, like just adding one more rep than you did last week, or adding the smallest possible weight to the bar. And then you have to document it. You have to force progression to happen. It rarely happens by accident.
And finally, let's talk about the element that is so often overlooked but is absolutely fundamentally critical for growth. If your nutrition is perfect and your training is on point, the bottleneck is almost always your recovery.
So many of us treat sleep like it's this optional luxury item, something we'll get to if we have time left over at the end of the day. This is by far the single biggest recovery mistake you can make. The fix is to completely reframe how you think about it. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a non-negotiable part of your training program. It's during those 7 to 9 hours that your body is pumping out growth hormone and actually repairing that muscle tissue. It is the most powerful, legal performance enhancer on the planet.
So the big question is, how do we put all this together into something useful? Let's build a simple, repeatable action plan that you can literally start using today.
Here it is, your 3-step breakthrough loop. Step 1, diagnose with data. Use those 3 questions we talked about. Step 2, implement only one fix at a time. This is so important. Don't change everything at once or you won't know what actually worked. And step 3, give it time. You have to give any change at least 3 to 4 weeks to see if it's working. Patience here is absolutely crucial.
I really want you to let this sink in. A plateau is not a sign that you have failed. It is a signpost. It's your body giving you super specific feedback, telling you exactly which part of your system needs a little attention. And when you see it that way, all that frustration just melts away, and it turns into a focused, clear plan of action.
So, let's end with this one. Simple question. Based on everything we just went over, what is the single, highest leverage thing you can diagnose and fix this week? Is it tracking your food with 100% accuracy? Is it adding just one more rep to your main lifts? Or is it getting an extra hour of sleep every night?
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, which give us motivation to make better content for you. See you in the next episode.